When we wake, hear the birds and see the sun. Side by side our fears are done. Oh, the good times just begun. We know what we have, let's hold on tight. Found what we're looking for in life. Call us crazy, but things are finally right. With you and I, the future is bright. Oh, you and I, we got it. Oh.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Windflower, an American garden in Talking Rock, Georgia. All right, well, I am now working on what I would guess would be the backside, probably the side that's going to be least seen. And a lesson that I should learn here and make sure I'm going forward and doing is that when I work on these projects, and I have never had the skill before, like I've never actually used mortar and laid rock or brick or anything, I should probably work on a side first that's not going to be seen as much or as often. Now in the long run, a lot of this bridge will probably be covered with some kind of ivy which grows natively here, or ferns or whatever along the edges, so they may not be seen that much anyways. But this side over here, well, the stacking of the rock looks okay. It's not what I would call it's not my vision. It's not how I saw it coming out. So I think a few lessons learned there. So now here on the backside, I'm trying to apply some of these lessons into how I'm going to go forward doing this. And I'll walk you through some of this here in a minute. Ooh, there's a little mouse right there. Huh, I've never seen any of those. Well, where there's mice, there's going to be copperheads and snakes. Yeah, so so on this corner here, as I get going, a lot of the stone was just mortared in, and it's failed in a lot of places, so it didn't really hold. It's basically sitting on top of rubble, right? The idea is that the weight of itself is just supposed to kind of create enough of a presence here to hold the rock in place, but I don't think that's necessarily going to be completely doable in the long run as far as making it as stable as I want it to be. So I'm going to now, this time actually what I'm going to do before I start mortaring anything in is I am going to stack the rock and then I'm going to backfill with some concrete. So that's what I'm going to start on today, is try and get some good sized stone stacked in here and then actually cement it all together with concrete on the backside to give it more stability and weight, and then lock it all together that way. And then the layers that subsequently come on top on the outside, some of the smaller, finer finishing stones, I will mortar in. So let's get started. Okay, I think I've got it's pretty stable just by itself sitting here, without any mortar holding it together. I got a few holes I think to plug with some larger rocks, but now if I get some cement kind of down in here behind the rocks and flow it in to backfill these spots, I think it'll hold this in a lot better, and then I can continue to build it up till I go over actual cans on this side. And then too, hopefully this way I won't get mortar dripping all down the front of it, and just so basically you see a concrete mess or a mortar mess there on the front. These are good, pretty heavy stones too. And then I got some really big stones ultimately, and a monstrous one way down on the other side of the property that I'll be bringing up. That'll function really as the top cap pieces, so that'll probably be in another episode when I go to finish it off at that point. But I think this is pretty good for right now, so let me get the concrete mixed up and start pouring it in behind here. Lessons I learned in mixing mortar compared to cement is you don't want it too liquidy, because it's not stiff enough to really sit in place. It wants to flow out. So in this case, I'm with cement, I don't think it matters as much. I'm sure there's people who do this all the time. You tell me I don't know what I'm talking about, which is probably true. Like I said, I've just done most of this stuff in my life by trial and error. But with cement, since I do kind of want it to flow in and around these cracks and crevices, I think I want it to be a lot more liquidy. Not so it's too much water. I mean, you want to think it to make the concrete weaker. I'm not sure about that, but I think I've heard that before. And so, I think I'm going to make it a fairly loose mix so I can just get it in and around all the nooks and crannies here. So the first load I put in, and I'm not really worried about finishing it off other than just getting it down into the crevices, was to get this rebar secured in. So that's going to provide a lot of the stability, especially for, and the strength of people being able to walk over this arch without eventually crushing down these cans too much. Hopefully that rebar gives it some of that rigidity that I want it to have. So that's why I poured that in there. I want to get that. That's a critical spot. I have a big gap right here. I got to try and get some of the cement down in so I can secure this rock and these rocks here together. And then I'll backfill here. And then if I have enough left, I'm going to do this side for the same reason over here. I want to get that rebar really locked in. Get it in here. Actually, what I'm going to do, see if I can use the trowel. Get it in there a little bit easier. On the other side, getting too much mortar on the facing stones. Here I did get a little concrete on some of the facing, but most of this is not gonna get defaced. I do have a brush, I can try and clean it off some too. In here. Again, I wanted to tie it all the way across. So this will have a cement or a concrete cap all the way through here to tie all that together. Won't necessarily be uniform in depth. It's not the prettiest job in the world, for sure. Lots to criticize about it. Yep. And but like I said, it's kind of the way it is when you first do something the first time. You're not gonna necessarily be the prettiest. Some flowing down in there still. Make sure I'm getting it all the way down inside. There we go. Okay, well, that went fairly well. Not too sloppy, not too messy. Little blowout on the side down there, but otherwise all pretty good. So I will now let this all firm up and come back tomorrow and start mortaring in some of the other stones. I might also actually just come down with some more concrete. I'm really dreading that. But see what my energy level feels like tomorrow. If I feel up to bringing more concrete down, then I'll do that. And just kind of put the concrete cap in across here, maybe bring the stones up just a little bit more, and then concrete it all in and then mortar it in. But anyways, that's going to be enough for today. So catch you out tomorrow. All right, well, in that last segment there, I said I would tell you how I feel the next day as far as moving concrete from up here back down to the bottom. And little did I know at that time it would be almost 2.5, maybe 3 weeks since I have last been out here. Well, as far as being able to do work, I did stop by a couple times real quick, but so I did go pick up the concrete and was ready to do all that. And then we got some, you know, just different things happen. One of the things was kind of disturbing news, and if you notice, he hasn't been out here in my videos in this episode really at all, is Deedy's not here, and he was diagnosed with heartworms. And we, you know, when we moved up here to Georgia, we missed like a month, maybe 2 months at the most on his medication, his normal preventative, and lo and behold, poor little guy got heartworms. So he's now actually going through the treatments, and as part of that, just in case you've never had a dog with heartworms, is that they basically cannot do any high stress activities whatsoever. And that's really related to the fact that so there's really basically 3 parts of the treatment. The first part is killing off any of the little what they call microphyllae, or the baby worms. I hate to call them babies because they're nasty little beasts. And so they give them basically the HeartGuard medicine, and that kills all the young worms off. But there's a danger of them throwing basically a clot into their lung and causing an embolism, which can kill the dog. So there's like for 4 weeks we have to keep him very as calm as we can. You know, he's a very happy, excitable dog, and when he sees like if I come home or he sees Pookie and stuff like that, he just gets all excited. So we've been really working hard to try and keep him calm, and he's doing really well. The next part of the treatment is to kill the adult worms. It's going to be a series of 2 shots. He gets it on one night, and then we got to take him back in the next morning, and they'll monitor him all day. And this is to kill the adult worms. And again, the same danger is that if the worm dies, it could go into his lungs and cause a clot and kill him. And then there's a final 3rd shot. And again, there's another 4-week waiting period while they wait for the worms to dissolve within their bloodstream. And then there's a final shot that, just in case the other 2 shots plus the HeartGuard didn't kill all the worms, they give him a final shot. And you know, from there, I think there's another 4-week period where we have to keep him fairly calm. And then he gets the antigen test and test in a few weeks after that, just to make sure that he's clear. You know, I won't say that it didn't disturb me to quite a degree. I mean, even though the survival rate is extremely high, and we don't think, based upon the test results, his infection's very high, it's not no risk. And I would just advise that if you have a dog and they're not on heartworm medication, apparently the statistic is that 80% of dogs that aren't on heartworm medication will get heartworms. Can they live with it? Yeah, for a few years, but it will cause massive organ failure eventually, and then it will kill them. So, you know, I think paying for the medication or the preventative is the right way to go, because also the treatment's going to cost well over $1,000. So, you know, you look at it right there, it's like it's cheaper to buy the preventative than it is to get heartworms. So anyways, I wanted to give you that update. And today what I'm going to be doing is actually, it is Friday, and I'm going to get out here and actually move the concrete. I had it in the back of the truck. It started to rain, and then a couple weeks ago, and then I put it inside my cab. So since then I've been keeping it in here, and yeah, here we go. Whew. All right, that was quite a journey getting down here, and that was just load one. Getting everything here, well, 2 bags, and God, it tears my knees up big time. Trying to get all down here. I think I have, I don't know, 6 bags, so that means 2 more trips. And I also wanted to tell you, mosquitoes are something awful down here. And I didn't update you on Pookie. We also have Pookie tested for heartworms. And thank God he came back negative. So but we got to get his medication. So before he can come back out to the property and enjoy it. Because mosquitoes are the intermediary host between the worm adult and then larva to another. They actually have to go through a mosquito. So anyways, so I give you that update on Pookie and where it's at. And then last thing I'll do before we go back up, well, not last thing, when I come back and I get everything down here, I'm gonna move this tarp. Last time I came down and moved this tarp, I found some interesting critters under there, and a little startling, nothing dangerous, but just wasn't ready for it. So we'll come back and move the tarp, and then we'll try and get at least this part done on the project. If not, we'll roll it into the next episode. All right. All right, well, I got the all the bags down here, and now I need to put it whoops, on top of this tarp. Hopefully it didn't just break my microphone. Fuck. And all right, so where I got to put it is here under this tarp. Move over here a little bit, and then cover it back up. I don't know what's underneath it. Probably nothing this time, but maybe family of mice or something. So we're gonna do a reveal, and let's hope it's nothing that's too bitey or poisonous. Whoa! Okay. go ahead and finish this episode here. I'm gonna move over here again. I'm just gonna figure out where maybe you can see what I want to show you. I'm just way too tired moving all those bags down. It's already late in the afternoon and I didn't get to start until late today to start trying to do anything constructive. And since I want this to actually look nice, I want to be patient and work when I'm in the mood to work. And right here's a good example of two different aspects of what I want to accomplish, or what I don't want to accomplish and what I do want to accomplish. So this is, you recall an episode, it's a sloppy mess, is covered with mortar on this side. Eventually it will wear off. In fact, it's already kind of crumbling off now and the stones will probably be just fine. But you can see how it moves into the can and then stops. There's a very hard line edge of the can, and I really don't want that. I don't actually want you to see the culvert slash can at all. So what I need to do is what I did over here on this side. You can see how I brought the stones around to the front, and then they're stacked in such a way that it actually kind of screens the front edge of the can, so you really won't see what's kind of holding the arch up. And that's what I want to be able to accomplish on the rest of the front here, and I got a lot of work to do that. But when I come back in the next episode, I will finish bringing rocks over the top, backfill in with some concrete, and try and pretty all this stuff up. At least another 2-3 episodes, I think, left on this. So with that said, I'm going to leave you with some critter cam footage. Julie purchased a critter cam, and we've had it set up on different spots on the property for the past month now. Haven't checked it for a couple weeks, so hopefully we got some really interesting stuff on it. And then, but I'm going to put that here on the end of this video. So with that, from Windflower Gardens in Talking Rock, Georgia, I'm out. Oh, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, leave comments. Now I'm out.